to the house, the one they talking about, word of mouth. The Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Welcome to this week's Boxing Playhouse Latin America. Bienvenido a Boxing Playhouse Latin America con Danny Santiago y Shakura Armstrong. Hola, Shakura. How you doing, Shakura?
What's up, Danny? ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? Muchas cosas, a lot of things, Shakura. Last week, we had an incredible week of boxing. We have a lot of news in boxing nowadays with lawsuits and stuff. Want to get into that? Hey, first and foremost, I didn't say this last week or whatever, but Happy New Year, right? And what's been going on new? What's going on new with boxing? ¿Qué tal de nuevo en boxeo allá en Estados Unidos?
Well, Happy New Year's to you as well. It's going to be an amazing 2022. This weekend, we did have some amazing events. We had TNK Boxing and Samson Boxing together to do a Showtime card. We saw Arietta perform amazingly. Although he came a little short, he showed that he got grit and determination and a pretty good chin. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in his next fight. And kudos for him for stepping up and taking that chance in boxing. So that's the first topic.
Sakura estaba diciendo que en esta semana había muchas cosas pasando en boxeo, ¿no? Había la pelea de Ariera que peleó allá en la semana pasada y a que no llegó a ganar en el Showtime, en una cartelera que estaba promovido los promotores era Sam Lekowitz y Jesús de TK Boxing. Lució muy bien y yo, como ella y todo el mundo, espera a ver este muchacho pelear otra vez en el futuro porque a que perdió y no ganó la pelea, demostró que sí era una calidad de boxeo y tiene mucho talento en el mundo del boxeo.
Well, also, we went to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame Museum this weekend on Saturday, and we heard the names of the new inductees. And shout out to your co-host, who's a little under the weather tonight, Tito Ocasio. He received the nod, and he will be inducted on June 17th through the 19th for that Hall of Fame weekend here in St. Petersburg at the Marriott.
Bueno, esta semana yo no pude ir porque yo estoy en Colombia, ¿no? Pero Sakura fue para la inauguración, o bueno, el anuncio de la Casa de Fama de Boxeo. Había varios boxeadores, Freso Cuendo, Shannon Briggs, varios boxeadores, pero más importante para mí y para Sakura y para la Boxing Playhouse y los fanáticos allá en Estados Unidos, acá y en Ocala, John 3, 16, 17, Tito Ocasio, Juan Ocasio, lo van a inaugurar a la Casa de Boxeo como profesor por todos los logros que ha hecho en boxeo y con los boxeadores que ha entrenado en los últimos años. Estamos muy contentos con eso. Un saludo, que está enfermito en estos días, pero todavía está con nosotros en pensamiento, ¿no?
Yes, and of course, I'm happy for all of them. So we look forward to seeing everybody June 17th through the 19th here in St. Petersburg, Florida for the Florida 2022 class. And that includes you, Danny. We want to see you here. I'm sure you're going to be as a classmate for the 2021 Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.
I will be there. Yo voy a estar ahí apoyando los socios míos, los amigos míos, la gente que me apoyaron a mí, ¿no? En el año pasado, 2021. Y este año va a ser especial que mi manejador, motor, Rusty Ansel y Russell Ansel van a estar reconocidos ese día para la Casa de Fama. Tito Ocasio, otro socio mío que se llama Shannon Briggs, que era campeón mundial. Lo van a poner en la Casa de Fama y va a ser una gran cosa, un gran espectáculo, porque la verdad es que eso no le pasa a todos los boxeadores en el mundo, todos los boxeadores para tal reconocido en el mundo del boxeo de otros boxeadores, la gente que maneja el boxeo, los promotores y cosas así. Es una cosa, un orgullo que nadie se lo ha...
Well, moving on to other subjects, guys. Yes, you're right. It has been a lawsuit type of day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Not COVID.
So
That's
first we got Okendo.
not COVID. Not COVID. But go ahead. Go
Not
ahead.
COVID. Oh, okay, great. I think I'm safe over here. But they have Okendo, Fres Okendo, speaking out about his complaint that he filed against the WBA. They actually have till the 14th, with this Friday, to answer that lawsuit. So legally to answer it in the court of law. And we'll see what happens with him. But basically, Danny, I mean, everybody in 3 fights tested positive for PEDs. And he's the one that's dropped off the rankings as their opponent. Can you tell me, does this make sense to you? Why would he be punished for his opponent's behaviors?
Politics, but let me say this in Spanish to our viewers. Estamos hablando de la gente que están demandando, la gente de boxeo, los promotores, las comisiones, cosas así. Y hay 3 gente en el boxeo que están demandando diferentes promotores, la AMB, la CMB, cosas así. Y Fres Oquendo, que lo van a poner en la Casa de Fama de Boxeo en Florida, tiene una demanda contra la AMB porque lo quitaron de los rankings, ¿no? De la lista de los primeros 10 boxeadores en el mundo, mejores boxeadores en el mundo. Y la queja que tiene él es que 3 de los boxeadores en esa lista de los primeros 5 o 10, algo así, que salieron positivos de prueba de esteroide, todavía lo tienen rankeado y a él no. Él nunca lo ha cogido, nunca ha hecho nada de hacer esteroide o hacer un truco para ganar las peleas y todo eso. Y dice, ¿por qué me quitaron a mí y no a ellos? Supuestamente estaba supuesto tener un campeonato, un chance para pelear para el campeonato mundial y lo quitaron de los rankings y tienen otro que están peleando, están rankeados y están peleando por el título mundial y salieron positivos de esteroide. Nadie puede explicar eso. Este viernes, el 14, van a la corte para ver si le da un chance para pelear por el título mundial. Yo te digo la verdad, él es mi socio, mi amigo, va a ser mi hermano en la Casa de Fama y estoy rezando por él porque ese lo merece. Ese lo merece. I was just saying to them everything you just said to me, and I said that he deserves that opportunity. And hopefully he'll get the nod.
Absolutely. I'm praying for him. But in the meantime, you know, it seems to be that he's been able to get some blessings even after his career has been stalled out for these 5 years. 5 years, Danny. I mean, but at least those 5 years has now made him eligible to be inducted into the Florida class this year for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm sorry. I had a phone call. I had to press end. He's long overdue. He's been sitting on the couch waiting, patiently. He's paid his dues. And he's really well deserving of an opportunity to be vindicated for the things that have happened to him in boxing. He earned that spot. I think it was like 2 years ago. This has been an ongoing situation for him, and hopefully he'll get some closure on Friday. I'm gonna say this in Spanish, okay? Estamos hablando de Fres Oquendo, que él ha tenido mucha paciencia, ¿no? Con los abogados, los jueces, la comisión de boxeo, la empresa de la AMB, y yo quiero que este sábado él le enseña a la comisión y el juez y todo el mundo que ese merece la oportunidad para por lo menos a terminar lo que empezó él hace casi 2 años. Y yo quiero que todo le salga bien.
Yes, and that's one litigation that's ongoing. Fresh says that he's the first one that's ever sued WBA because people are scared of the politics. And with that being said, the politics, is it politics that Bud Crawford is now filed a lawsuit today, basically making claims that Bob Arum himself has been racially unequal and basically racist to him as a boxer, and it's cost him monetarily with his boxing career.
Bueno, lo que dice Sakura es que en este momento hay muchas cosas pasando en el boxeo, ¿no? Como un ejemplo, lo que pasa con Fred Oquendo, no es una cosa justo, ¿no? Pero igual como Crawford, tú sabes que él le están demandando a la empresa que lo prometió a él, que lo ha movido a él, Bob Arum, y él piensa que en su corazón que todo ha sido por racismo, por una forma u otra, porque siempre Bob Arum le está diciendo a la gente que él, como él, una persona de color o algo así, o que no habla mucho, no hace mucha propaganda, que no lo está promoviendo a él y por eso no va a ganar dinero que se merece ganar un campeón en la cara de él. Tú sabes, eso él lo está llevando para la corte para probarle a ellos que dice, mire, quizá me está tratando así porque el color de mi piel. Y yo quiero que no sea así, pero él va a hacerlo de él para probarle a la gente de justicia y el juez y todas esas cosas para ver si cosa, porque él cree que mucha gente que ha hablado de él en esa empresa le daña la oportunidad para ganarse su plata y a ganarse su dinero para no sobre a ganar la pelea y a ser campeón, pero al final todo esto es dinero. Uno va a poner la vida tuyo y la vida tuya y la familia en la línea. No podemos ir ahí adentro y él quiere el dinero que se merece a él. As you just said right now, Carice Tess Brown, champ, said hello, Sakura. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Rodriguez from New York, the Bronx. Kelly Roman, hey, Boxing Playhouse. I guess you know her.
What's up, Kelly?
And anyway, yes, I told him everything we just spoke about Bud Crawford, how in this day and age, you know, he feels that he's been wronged in some capacity, in some way, shape, or form, and he hasn't been promoted. And he would hate to think that it was a racial reason for it, but he says he's putting up he's putting up great fights, he's fighting great opponents, and he's doing what he needs to do. And for somebody to not shine the light on him, as well deserves that it may be, he feels that there's something else to it than just what they're saying.
Right. I mean, sometimes you have unknowing racial bias towards people. And some people don't even realize that they do it. And if you come from a different era where things were acceptable to do things that way, like Bob is, you know, and now we're in a totally like almost 100 years later, because this guy is like 90 something years old. You know, you don't always move completely with the tide of where our culture has gone since then. But I mean, to say that there's probably nothing to it would be ingenuous, I believe. To say that, you know, there's no way that people can be biased. I see it every day. I mean, I was just at a fight over in Orlando and I saw it. I was a part of it. The person didn't even realize they was being biased. They didn't realize that I was media, Danny. Why? Because I am a female and because me and Emilio don't walk around in suits and ties and we got the wrong complexion. Even though we had the same yellow black band on that indicated that we were media, And the person had a bias to that. They didn't realize that, no, I'm sure they didn't realize that the reason they didn't think we were media is deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
it's just one example of how people walk around and they have biases, and that includes black folks too. Okay, we all have our biases. We don't realize it sometimes. Then you got the second type of racist, which is somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, and this is the way they feel, and they're going to try to deter your efforts as a minority to get where you want to be. That is out there too, but it's not blatant anymore. It's not like people walking around saying the N word at you, right? Or calling you C words and different things like that. Now it's all underneath the surface because they know that those type of key words are the things that get, that can really get you in trouble and can get you a decent settlement or a different rate of, like financial benefit automatically. So
Yes, yes.
now you're dealing with all this behind the doors, closed, behind closed doors type scenarios where people do things in the secrets of night. But as my grandma always said, these things will come out. Whatever you hide in the dark, they're gonna come out to light.
In the end, the truth always prevails, and everything always comes out to light. Nothing stays in the dark forever. So it's sad that things like that are still out there. They're it's done differently now. It's not as prevalent as it was before if you don't pay attention to these little things. But the truth will come out. Fresso Kendo, God bless him. I'm sure he'll be fine. The truth is the truth. Bud Crawford, he's not. I mean, I met him very briefly, so I don't know him. I can't say I know him, and I sure can say that he doesn't know who I am. But I met him briefly, and I was able to watch him from a distance. He doesn't seem like a guy who talks too much. He lets actions speak louder than words. I wish him the very best. He's well deserved of all the accolades that he gets and then some, because I think it's long overdue for people to really appreciate what he brings to the table. I would hate to be. I've been on every side of the table when it comes to racism, but the reality of the situation, it's an ugly situation. It's very, very ugly, and I hope and pray that everyone gets their due just, and everything works out. I like to see him fight again really soon as possible, and let things be where they want to be. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Sandra Santiago, who's looking in right now.
Yay!
Jody Contour says, "Hola, Boxing Playhouse." Our special guest tonight, Earnesto Neri. He wants to shout out to everyone. Carmen Valdez, love from Puerto Rico, showing mad love. Puerto Rico in the house. I can't read this last name. Oh, it's Kelly Ramon. I guess she's saying hello from Miami Boxing Playhouse. I can't really read it from the bottom here, but it says hello, Sakura and Danny from Miami. What's up? You got to give a shout out to our peoples here.
What's up, Boxing Playhouse players? We love the fact that you're supporting us tonight. And these shout outs are very much appreciated. And Kelly, I can't wait to go to Miami next time that I have a chance to go down for a fight.
Me and you both. Hey, listen, real quick, I want to do something that we don't normally do. And with your permission, we're gonna have a guest on, but I also would like to encourage anyone who wants to ask a question or anything of that nature or make a comment. Please write it in. I will read it. I will take the time to read it. Your questions, your opinions are very well welcome, and I encourage them, please, because that's what we're here for. We're here for you guys. I'm gonna say this in Spanish, okay? Quiero invitar a todos los fanáticos que están mirando aquí la emisora, la emisora que estamos haciendo aquí esta noche. Si tiene pregunta, si tiene una opinión o algo a decir, por favor, escríbemelo. Yo lo voy a leer, le voy a decir lo que tú me dices, sin pena, con confianza. Cuente conmigo que yo voy a decir la cosa como tú lo dices, sea bueno o sea malo. Hello, Sakura.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was
What else?
froze for a minute there.
It's okay. It's okay. So what else we got on the table? What
Well,
else we got on the
I
table to
have
talk
to
about?
add one more thing because I got to be devil's advocate. Sometimes promoters just don't know how to promote certain boxes. They just don't have that formula. And every promoter or promotional company has something that they are not as good at as another one. So it's no different in that aspect. And it could be just as simple as that. Sometimes you don't know how to market certain fighters.
Let me ask you this. That's all true, and I agree with you on that. Do you think I, I had the privilege and honor of speaking to uh, Dr. Deborah King the other day, and a few people, right?
Okay.
And her dad, Don King, who I love and adore. He's been a great person to me. Some people can say that, right? Um, what's up, Jesus Escalera? TK Boxing in the house. I gotta say that. I'm sorry, but in saying that, do you think that at the age of 90, Bob Arum, Don King, they're just getting a little long in the tooth, and perhaps their age is starting to, I wouldn't say show their true colors, but when you get to that age, a lot of things start to bother you, and young people start to bother you. And boxing is a young man's sport or young person's sport because women dominate this business as well, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is maybe they're getting a little long in the tooth. Can I say that in Spanish real quick?
Yeah.
Estamos hablando de la cosa que está pasando en estos días con los promotores de ya de la edad que uno piensa, bueno, el hombre tiene 90 años y quizás se está frustrando un poco y quizás está un poco cansadito y a que este deporte es de la gente joven, un hombre de 90 años no tiene, sí tiene la capacidad y tiene la experiencia, pero quizás no tiene la paciencia para trabajar con la gente joven hoy en día y le molestan las cositas. Es una cosa que es normal, uno no se puede poner bravo por eso, pero quizás está pasando eso porque ya a la edad que tiene Bob Arum y que tiene Don King, 90 años, eso son muchos años, men. Yo te digo, yo voy a cumplir los 49 años en estos días, ya en pocas semanas, y algunas veces mi profesor, que era mi profesor casi toda mi carrera, Luis Camacho, que está en la Casa de Fama con nosotros, él dice, la juventud se ha gastado en la gente joven. Y quizá la gente como Bob Arum y Don King piensan que la gente joven no le hacen caso, no quieren hacer las cosas como lo digan y se están frustrando, ¿no? So, uno tiene que mirarlo de todos los puntos, no tiene que ser una cosa de racismo totalmente, pero tiene que mirarlo de todo. Speaking of Luis Camacho, hey, Macho, love you.
That's
It
my
was a while ago.
boyfriend. Don't. That's my boyfriend right there, and
He says,
Emilio knows it.
he says, hola, Sakura. I think it says my partner from Boxing Playhouse. And obviously, he gave me a shout out, Danny Santiago. He says he has a question for Danny Santiago later on. Camacho, I welcome it.
Oh,
Spanish or English? I finally speak Spanish. I took your advice. You said that youth is with us on the young. I agree with you. I finally learned Spanish. So thank you for pushing me towards that way. I'm with you now. I even dance
oh,
salsa now, Camacho. You'll be surprised.
Coach Camacho, he's the best.
And we got Lisa Reina. Yeah, I don't know if you can read that. If you see it, I can't read. The
Hello,
bottom of
you
my
are
screen
the
is a little bit
best,
messed up.
fly, and on point. Don't change for no one. Okay, I guess she's talking to. I don't know which one she's talking to because both of us are kind of like, we can get kind of rogue sometimes. So I'll just take that as she's saying that to both of us. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate it.
Shout
I
out to
want to get
Lisa.
our guests on here because I want to get their opinion on these topics and these different litigations that's going on. And I do believe what you're saying is true about, yes, age. Age can play a part. They're leaders of their organizations. I don't know how much they are involved in the day to day, but if my boss tell me I need to do something a certain way and I want to keep getting my check, I'm gonna do it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's funny, right? Perfect example. My old coach Camacho is up in his 80s now, and he I don't know if he still does this anymore because we haven't worked out in a very long time, but he used to run with me. He used to do a lot of things with me. He's in great shape. He's probably going to live to be 100 or something. He'll probably outlive me, right? But the reality of the situation is there were times that me as a young man, I didn't heed. And that's a word that I learned with him. I didn't heed his instructions or his advice.
Okay.
And I didn't want, I wanted to do the rabbit run instead of the turtle race and get there the smart way. And maybe these promoters at times, they feel like that because they don't have the patience to deal with the young man who maybe wants to do things a different way. But at the same time, maybe the old way of doing things are not the right way anymore because things have changed so much that we really have to be open-minded to the possibility of change. I'm going to say this in Spanish, if you don't mind. Estamos hablando igual de la misma tema de los promotores hoy en día que están teniendo problemas con los boxeadores hoy joven, que un promotor que tiene 90 años sí sabe mucho, sabe de todo, ha trabajado. Mira, Bob Arum era promotor de Muhammad Ali, de Bob Arum, o no tanto de Muhammad Ali, pero de George Foreman, de Marvin Hagler, y todas esas cosas así, ¿no? De Floyd Mayweather en un tiempo. Y quizá a la edad de él ya no tenía la paciencia y quizá no está haciendo todo el negocio, pero el que manda ahí es él, igual como Don King. Y algunas veces una persona que piensa así, los tiempos de antes, una persona de 90 años, quizá no tiene la paciencia como antes. Y uno tiene que mirar los dos lados de la moneda, ¿no? Porque quizá Bob Crawford se siente de una manera y quizá no es así, pero uno puede decir que está mal porque está recibiendo una parte que nosotros no lo está mirando, ¿no? Él no está diciendo nada, que está diciendo las cosas son Bob Arum. So, uno tiene que mirar las cosas de todos los puntos.
Yes. Now let's go ahead and get our guest on board here. I'm ready to see Earnesto.
Earnesto Neri, Wartime Promotions, baby. War Promotions International.
All right. Let's get Earnesto on here. Hey, Papa!
Can't hear you.
There, can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Yes, sir. How you doing, Ernesto?
Good, good. Aquí andamos, mira. Saludos. Shout out to
We're
Secure.
going to talk English and Spanish, okay?
Spanglish.
She's going to talk to you in English. I'm going to talk to you in Spanish.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right.
Okay. Well, Ernesto, I know you're down there in Mexico, but what part of Mexico are you in, honey?
I'm here at the border town, Tijuana.
TJ, okay, that's where all the boxing from Mexico is mainly like, that's the center of it, isn't it?
Baja
This
California.
is where all the champions come out of. Most of them.
Yeah. See, I at least know that. So my question to you is, I mean, as a promoter in that area, I want to know if you have the same type of issues that the promoters here in this country complain about. You know, there you go.
Wait one second. Ella, I got to say this in Spanish because this is Boxing Playhouse Latin America. Esto es Boxing Playhouse Latin America. Tenemos que decir la cosa en español, primero que nada, ¿no? Ella quiere saber, la pregunta de ella es que si, bueno, tú no entiendes, pero voy a decir en español anyway, que si tú estás teniendo los mismos problemas que está teniendo la gente en todas las partes del mundo, como ejemplo en Estados Unidos, ¿qué es la respuesta tuya?
Pues te voy a contestar primero en español. Aquí, la verdad, todavía yo personalmente no he tenido esos detalles. Somos una empresa joven, tenemos 3 años como promotores, pero pues sí hemos logrado mucho que promotores que tienen años, pues, en el negocio. Entonces, pues gracias a Dios que todavía no enfrentamos ese tipo de problemas aquí en la empresa.
You want to say it in English now? ¿Quieres en inglés también?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm saying is since we're we're the, ¿cómo se dice?
You want me to say it for you? You want me to say it for you? Okay. So Ernesto, he he speaks English, but he'd rather me say it for him because I speak a little bit. I'm more versed, right?
Mhm.
So Ernesto War Promotions International is a fairly new promotional company. He's been in boxing for a very long time, but this is enterprise. He's a CEO, and he's been doing shows for the last 3 years. I personally know one of my fighters has personally fought at his show. A couple guys, and he does a first class act. But being that he's only been in the game as a promoter on that aspect of the last 30 years, hasn't really been confronted with too many issues. It hasn't gone completely smoothly, but and without hiccups. But as far as some of the problems that he's seen um his peers and things like that go through, he hasn't really gone through that. He hasn't really experienced too many negative things in TJ, Baja California. He's It's been a pretty good transition for him from working on one side of the aisle to now being a promoter.
Okay, well, I'm happy to hear that for sure, because it's not everybody that's getting that positive love. So that speaks more to your character, probably, than anything else. That people want to work with you and make things work for the fight.
Yeah,
Ella
and
está I'm sorry, I'm saying in Spanish. I gotta say things in Spanish. So, ella está diciendo que es una bendición que la relación que tú has tenido allá en TJ como un promotor y todas esas cosas ha sido una bendición de Dios, ¿no? Y que eso es bueno, que no pasa por muchas cosas así, que muchos promotores están pasando y que tienen un problema así, que en verdad es una bendición de Dios, porque la verdad es que muchos promotores, muchos manejadores, mucha gente a ti siempre tiene su problemcita y tú has sido muy fortunado, ¿no?
see, well, I've been very fortunate because I mean, I built a solid team. So I got promoters throughout Mexico. I got that work that know exactly what world boxing is looking for as far as fighters. I have a good production team. I have a good team that travels with me when we go out to do shows. That everyone already knows what to do. I don't need to be guiding them every single time. So I say, as far as right now, World Boxing, it's a well organized promotions company in all aspects, from boxers that we manage, from boxers that we work with, and production wise, as far as making amazing events.
Okay, I mean, I finally see Tara is here. If you want to introduce him,
Can
and
I interject real quick?
yes,
Can I just say something? I'm saying in English and in Spanish. I mean, Mr. Neri, he's a very humble guy, and he won't speak to who and what he is, right? But just to give you an example, he's had about 100+ guys make their pro debut in his cards. 100+ in the last 3 years. That's unfounded, right?
yeah, that's
He's
really
had
good numbers.
about 25 championship title matches on his shows. He's promoted shows in 20 different venues all across Mexico, and I believe maybe even in California, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but I think so. Am I correct?
Yes, we did out in the East Coast. We did one.
Yes.
We're actually planning on doing a couple more, hopefully this year. But and maybe even go visit Danny out there in Colombia.
Hey, who knows? God willing, right? But in saying that, he's had the likes of Jaime Munguia fighting his shows. He's had Mark DeLuca. He's had a really good stable of fighters go through. And I'm going to say this in Spanish. Señor Neri, Ernesto Neri de War Promotions, ha tenido más de 100 boxeadores debutar en la cartelera de él. Él ha tenido más de 25 título campeonato y ha sido promotor en más de 20 diferentes lugares y el Estados Unidos, hasta en California y en el este de Estados Unidos. Es más, tiene el pensamiento de hacer las peleas muy pronto en Estados Unidos. Yo sé que estamos hablando hoy temprano que posiblemente voy a poner uno de los boxeadores míos en la cartelera de él en marzo, si Dios quiere. Pero el señor Neri sí sabe mucho de boxeo, es una calidad de persona muy honesta y lo que tú es lo que hay, no hay nada diferente.
Así es.
Okay. Well, I know we have a boxing commissioner who's also a friend of yours. He's ready and available. Who wants to introduce him?
I'll introduce him, no problem. Me gustaría atraer a la tema aquí con nosotros, Boxing Playhouse Latin America, el comisionado, el presidente de la comisión de Tijuana, Baja California, Alejandro Terra García. Vamos a dar un aplauso porque vamos a tener aquí a hablar con él. Yeah,
I lost
Alejandro's
him.
ready.
I was just about to click on him and he dropped off again. He's been having technical issues.
All
He'll
right.
be back in a minute, though, I'm sure.
While we get him back on, let me I have a couple questions from my old coach, my old mentor. He rubbed off on me more than he knows. Danny, you've been a fighter and trainer and everything else in boxing. What do you think about boxers that switch to southpaw, being right-handed with a good left hook? With the good left hook that I had at one time. Well, I'll ask you that in a second, you guys, but he asked me the question, right? So it's to this, that I'm a right-handed fighter. And one thing that we see is I'll answer this question, we'll talk to the commissioner. We deliver we throw the right hand, but we deliver the left hook. And a left hook is something that you don't see. And when you switch to a southpaw, you're leading with your most powerful hand, which is your right hand, but you have nothing to finish the person up because your hook isn't usually always as good as your left hand, as your left hook, as a right-handed fighter. So I never agree with that. I don't really like it. Why would you do something that you're not naturally accustomed to, and you're taking away your best attributes, which is a good jab, a nice right hand, and you always finish them up with that punch I never see, which is the left hook. My trainer taught me well, and that's been instilled in me since I was fighting. But now as a trainer, I really have grasped that, and I understand the demographics of it all, the physics of it all. Why would you take that away from yourself? That being said, welcome to the show. Bienvenido al programa, Alejandro García. Un aplauso. ¿Cómo te encuentras, amigo?
Hey.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Aquí muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Una pregunta. ¿Hablamos inglés o hablamos español?
No, puro español, 100% español.
Dale, tranquilo. Ok, aquí estamos. Mire, yo me llamo Dani Santiago. Ya tú conoces a Neri. Y ella se llama Sakura, señor Terra o Alejandro. ¿Te molesta que te llamamos Alejandro?
Terra.
Okay, Terra. Any
well,
questions
can
for
you
him?
tell him to turn his camera up the wide way so we can have a wider view?
¿Esto es tu teléfono?
Sí, pasa que vengo.
Si puede mirarlo así, sería mejor.
Oh, a ver, de la vuelta.
Sí, señor. Sí, déjalo así un momento que se va a arreglar el mismo. ¿Tú tienes la opción para que se cambie la pantalla?
No.
Ok, bueno, déjalo así.
He don't have it pressed. He don't have the button pressed for rotate.
Hey, Ernesto, can you tell him to press the button so it can rotate?
Hay que cambiar la cámara a lo largo.
Ya la cambié.
No,
cámbiala de nuevo. Para que te mire a ti.
Ahí está.
Cámbiala de nuevo.
No.
It's okay. Well, it's a setting that's on your phone that has it.
Déjalo, que tira que se lo punte al mismo. Déjalo así.
Si voltea la cámara otra vez. La opción que presionaste ahorita. Para que te veas tú.
Ok.
Don't worry about it. We'll just keep it like that, like you had it in the beginning. If you can't figure out.
There you go.
Just leave it alone.
Déjalo así, tranquilo.
Okay.
I do have a question about, from the commissioner. I would like to know, in Mexico, is there any big change between what a commissioner does here in the United States and what they do in Mexico?
Well, let me before I ask this question to him, let's ask him if he's been a commissioner in the United States, because he doesn't speak any English, right? He might
not know what. Okay, go ahead.
La pregunta de ella que tiene ella es que yo le di primero que nada, vamos a hablar si es comisionado en México, ¿no? Si es solamente en México o trabajado en otros estados como Estados Unidos.
No, soy presidente de la Comisión de Tijuana, Baja California.
Ok, pero no he trabajado en ninguna acción, ninguna capacidad en otro país como Estados Unidos.
No, no. Bueno, de peleador nomás.
Okay,
Peleador
so
profesional.
just to answer your question, he's like, well, he hasn't been a commissioner anywhere else but Mexico, and he's never really worked on the political aspect of things or the commission aspect of things in any other country except Mexico. Now, he was a fighter and he has fought in the United States, but other than that, he's not very versed in the aspect of the logistics of the commissions in other countries.
Okay, I understand. Now, how long has he been a commissioner, and what did he do leading up to that got him into boxing?
Primero que nada, qué es la manera, qué carrera cogiste para empezar a boxear y de esa posición, qué tú has hecho cuando te pusiste en la posición de comisionado de Tijuana?
Bueno, de comisionado tuve el 2010 al 2017, comisionado de boxeo. Ahorita soy el presidente y tengo apenas 2 meses. Bueno, 3 meses, 100 días tengo en total.
Okay, so he was a commissioner prior to this, until 2016 from, I don't know, ¿cuándo empezaste primero?
Bueno, el comisionado de box duré del 2010 al 2017.
So he was commissioner from 2010 to 2016. Then he went off and did some other things, and he just became the commissioner yet again about 3 months ago.
But this time as the president.
Oh, congratulations!
But this time he's the president of Boxing Commission, which is
right. I know that's
so
a big upgrade.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
Tú eres patrón.
Tell him upgrade. I like the fact that you are now the president. That shows that you must have been or put on a great performance as a commissioner in order for them to, promote him to president. So I think it says a lot about him too. You want to translate that?
Ella dice que le gusta a ella que como tú fuiste comisionado antes, eso le está enseñando a ella y quizá a todo el mundo que tú hiciste un gran trabajo, y como ese gran trabajo que tú hiciste, te subieron y te ponieron en la posición de presidente de la comisión de boxeo allá en Tijuana o en México, ¿no? Y eso enseña la calidad de comisionado que fuiste y la persona que tú eres.
No, muchas gracias y pues hemos trabajado arduamente. Primeramente fui peleador, sé lo que se siente estar arriba del ring, sé lo que sienten los peleadores, sé cómo se sobrelleva una carrera para poder llegar arriba, y por eso pues me he entendido muy bien con los promotores para seguir ayudándoles ahí en la comisión de box.
Well, he says that he appreciates your compliment, and he really, his aspect of things is he was a fighter, and he knows what it's like to get in there. He knows what it's like to train for a fight, receive blows, and put your life on the line. He knows what these guys go through, so he can sympathize, relate, and understand what these individuals go through. And as a commissioner, it's really helped them out to look at things from a different aspect, because not that there's anything wrong with somebody who hasn't necessarily been a professional fighter, but it does help, and it does give them that added advantage of being a former fighter, now commissioner, now president of the Commission of Boxing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I just had this one last question, and I want to know, has Earnesto ever given you any problems?
Ella dice, primero que nada, antes que termine con la pregunta, y quiere saber si el señor Earnesto Neri te ha dado muchos problemas de los 3 años que tú has sido allá y en estos meses que tú has sido comisionado de boxeo. ¿Tienes respuesta?
Oh, there we go.
Señor Terra.
A ver si me escucha, me está acordando el internet aquí, como tengo que ir a la casa de mi mamá, casi no agarra aquí y
Bueno, tranquilo. Ella dice que si Ernesto Neri como promotor te da mucho dolor de cabeza. I don't think he hears us. He has
I
a
don't
bad
know.
signal.
He's having some issues with the Wi-Fi thing.
I
Oh,
think
there we go. Can you hear
¿Oíste
us?
la pregunta? All right. Well, let's go to Neri. Vamos a hablar de Neri. What's going on, Neri?
Nothing aquí, just getting ready for this year. Got a lot of big things coming.
¿Cuándo va a ser la próxima pelea usted que va a ser allá en TJ?
Pues aquí en Tijuana tenemos el 5 de febrero la exhibición entre Mantecas Medina, 5 veces campeón mundial, y Héctor Velázquez, el Charro Negro, quien tuvo grandes batallas como con Valero, con Israel, con Manny Pacquiao. Entonces,
Wow.
se viene algo bueno. Aparte, pues tenemos a los peleadores de casa, ya que en la empresa pues no hay protegidos. Aquí se va a ir empresa, 2 boxeadores que son de la empresa, van a 10 rounds. Uno es Bofo, Viedas, de aquí de Tijuana. El otro es Jorge Romero, el Vaquita de Ciudad de México. Una pelea que yo te di casi un año y medio, la gente quiere ver aquí en México, y pues por fin se las vamos a dar.
Well, I asked him in Spanish that if what's he got going on this year, what's his next show. He said his next show is February 5th. He has a real big event coming up where he has his former 2 or 3-time world champion Mantequilla, no?
Mantecas Medina, 5-time world champion, and the only
Manteca.
boxer in history, the second boxer in history up to this day in boxing that has ever won 5 titles in his same division.
Oof, listen to that. Un
Okay,
campeón.
wow. I mean, I want to go to that. I want to go to that.
Oh, you'll love
Hey,
TJ.
you're more than welcome. Let me know.
You'll love
Just don't
TJ.
forget I'm media now. Don't put me out there.
Ringside VIP.
I like it.
Hey, listen, if he says it, it's going to happen. Si lo dice Neri, you can take it to the bank. Llévalo para el banco.
Yep.
Camacho says, bien dicho, Dani, ¿por qué tú vas a tirar a botar el mejor golpe o a la mejor alma que tú tengas, cambiando la posición cuando tú vas a la guerra? And you're right, Camacho, you taught me well. So, you know, a lot of what I say, do, and think is of your teachings. You know, you've rubbed off on me more than any other individual in my life. So I got to give you props where props is due. Yeah, so Nidi, este año, ¿qué esperamos en la cartelera? Tú me dijiste que tú vas a tener ese hombre de manteca allá. ¿Cuántas peleas va a tener ahí en esa cartelera? 5, 6, 10. ¿Cuántas peleas va a tener ahí?
Tenemos planeadas 8 peleas profesionales, ya que pues sabes que en cada show que hacemos tratamos de meter entretenimiento. Entonces andamos viendo para hacer música en vivo después del evento. Antes del evento tenemos una pelea de kickboxing entre Entram Gym y no me acuerdo el gym del otro, pero es de Ensenada. Son 2 muchachitas que son campeonas y pues van a dar una pelea de exhibición ahí antes de arrancar con el boxeo.
So he just told me something that was very intriguing. On February 5th, I mean, he has I mean, this is a really big show for him. He's telling me right now. He's gonna have an 8-bout card. He doesn't play favorites. He manages his own fighters, and what he does is that he doesn't put them in there softly. So they're real fights, right? He also has an addition of sorts of a kickboxing fight that's going to happen between 2 female world champions who are going to do a kickboxing match prior to the boxing event. And that's going to be a lights out war between 2 females. And you know, when females get into there, you just got to step out the way because they let him go. So he's really looking forward to it. He's working real hard at it. And it's going to be an exciting day.
Hey, I love the females when they start fighting. They can take a show to the next level. and steal the show from the men real quick.
Yeah. Well, females do like to go to war. Tell you that.
Yeah, good title. Where did you
Yeah.
come up with your with the company name, War? Because I really like that.
¿Dónde tú cogiste el nombre tuyo de la empresa tuya? War, guerra.
Well, I was before I went into being a promoter, I always analyze. Like I take a trip and analyze like what would be my next move, and that's when I come up with ideas of names. So I'm more like, first I come up with my slogan before I choose a name. So my slogan
I
is
like,
"We don't play."
I like the slogan though. I have a couple of here that you wrote down. I wrote down. There's I'm gonna let you say, but there's one there that I really like. Go ahead and go.
Yeah, so I come up with the slogan first. So our slogan is "We don't play, we go to war. Who wants to get tested? Welcome to our playground."
So
And
you
from
like
there,
the competitive fights. You like to match up competitive bouts.
oh yeah, I try not. Well, most of the fights that I make, they do go to distance because I try not to give that much advantage on each fighter. You know, I always try to match them up. Maybe 50-50 at the very least, maybe a 40-60.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's a big fight, I mean, if you're already fighting eight rounders, 10 rounders, I mean, you need to step up the game, because those fights, they're tough, and that's how a lot of people get injured, because they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
They're not ready for those type of fights, and that's what war does. I mean, a lot of people get scared because of the slogan, but I mean, in reality, it's because I mean, every boxer that goes in the ring needs to go to war. I mean, boxing ain't no game, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes, sir.
So after I did the slogan, then I analyzed. I do my own design, so everything you see, the logo and everything, I design myself.
Oh,
And
Can I
nice.
say this? Can I say this?
yeah,
Mr. Neri has his own what do you call what we call that? Is a stitching company, a t-shirt company, or a hat company?
embroidery,
What is it? Huh?
embroidery. Well,
Embroidery company. Yes, sir. And
yeah.
he does some good work. He does some good work even for some of my friends. So
Oh
um
wow, yes.
yeah.
I like listen, we gonna have to talk, Ernesto, because Danny, our logo is on our sleeves, on all our t-shirts, and they're embroidered on. It's not like a heated or anything, a stick on. Those are actually embroidered onto the sleeves of our shirts.
Oh,
Hey
nice.
Sakura, we got Alejandro back. Alejandro, ¿nos oyes?
Hey,
You want
Ah,
to ask him
okay,
some
okay.
questions about exhibitions, or what does he think about the YouTube stars, or you want me to ask him any questions or anything?
Actually, I wanted to follow up with Torres and Tora or Tara. Is it Tara?
Sure. Señor
Tara?
Tera, sí.
I
Yes.
wanted to see if there's anybody in Mexico that doesn't like to have competitive bouts, or is it across the board? If you fight in Mexico, it's gonna be competitive.
Listen, I'm gonna answer this for him because I've been in Mexico teaching a few times. Listen, if you go to Mexico, you're gonna earn your money. You're gonna earn your keep. Them boys don't play over there.
Exactly.
Te voy a preguntar lo que me dijo ella. Ella dice, mire, pensando de la raza, la competencia, el orgullo, de México, ¿no? Los peleadores de México son conocidos como guerreros, como que son buen boxeadores, ven muchas cosas, ¿no?
se muere en la raya.
Exacto, y eso mismo yo se lo dije, ¿no? Pero, como digo, ella dice que tú piensas de boxeo mexicano, pero ya yo se lo dije, si quieres respondérselo, dale algo, pero ya yo se lo dije, pero dile, dale.
Bueno, yo nunca he visto un mexicano que rehuya o que no vaya a pelear en ninguna pelea.
He says, listen, to answer your question, simple and sweet. He's never known a Mexican not to go in there and fight to the last drop of blood. Like he's the real, they come to fight.
Yeah, like they don't have B-sides. They don't have B-sides because everybody wants to really prove that they can be there.
Yes. Ella dice, allá no hay Algunos sitios tienen el lado A y la lado B. Allá no hay lado B. Los dos son A porque los dos quieren ganar.
Sí.
Sí, yo soy testigo de eso porque ya yo viajo a México ya varias veces y no lo toca a nosotros muy fácil allá. Y
No,
dale.
cualquier rival mexicano es complicado y es fuerte.
Whichever Mexican you compete against, very complicated, very strong, and very determined.
Yeah, it's got Mexican style.
Yes.
I'm like Triple G. I love Mexican style.
Ella está como Triple G que copió el estilo mexicano.
Ok.
Ay.
Se me va a acabar la pila en el teléfono. Voy a ver si me puedo conectar en otro teléfono.
Tranquilo, dale. He says he's going to switch phones. He's going to log back on because his battery's running out, okay?
Oh, okay.
So we'll jump into Neri. Hey, Neri, looking at these exhibitions nowadays, mirando las exhibiciones hoy en día que están haciendo la gente de YouTube, están gente de futbolista americano, actores, es una locura. ¿Qué tú piensas de eso? Y si tú piensas buen de eso, ¿tú harías algo así allá en México o qué?
Pues mira, yo como te dije hace rato, el boxeo no es un juego. Muchas personas ya lo están haciendo por agarrar sus likes, por agarrar su fama, pero o sea, si es una pelea competitiva, donde los dos boxeadores sí están preparados, están entrenando, yo creo que sí lo permitiría. De otra forma, si no es compatible como un youtuber contra un ex campeón, o sea, eso se me hace, para mí, una falta de respeto al boxeo. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Me gusta esa respuesta. So, Sakura, I asked him what he thought about the new craze that's going on with the YouTubers and the football players and the basketball players and the household gardeners doing all this exhibition stuff, right? And his reply to that was that he takes boxing very serious, like most of us boxers do, right? Boxing is not a game. It's the only sport that you can really die at any given moment, you know, because the objective is to beat your opponent's head in, right? And he doesn't like to disrespect the sport without putting somebody in there who's been training, who's prepared, and is ready to go in there for a real fight. He's not opposed to do an exhibition of that caliber, as long as they meet his standards, as far as being prepared and putting on a good spectacle. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to disrespect the sport that he loves and it's his profession, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I get it. I understand completely. I'm not mad at the YouTubers though. I'm just saying that it upsets me when the fans will come to support that, but not a real professional boxer that's dedicated their entire life to the sport. Like it makes no sense. Like support, somebody like Logan Paul, no problem. But also you need, like, if you got that kind of energy for that, I feel like you should have even more energy for the real boxers, the professional boxers.
Well, he'll probably walk out on a on a straight on a en la camilla de la ambulancia, If he faces a real fight.
Tú entiendes lo que dijo ella, ¿no? Que la gente están apoyando la gente que no son ni boxeadores, que no ponen la línea. Mira, yo empecé a boxear en el año 1989, ¿no? Me retiré el año 2016. ¿Y qué digo? La verdad es que yo no tengo celo, no tengo envidia ni nada de eso, pero qué pena que la gente hoy en día pagan la plata y el dinero que están haciendo ellos por una cosa que saben que 100% es falso y están poniendo dinero, gastando su dinero en un espectáculo falso, ¿no? Y hay boxeadores hoy en día, olvídate de mí, porque ya yo soy la noticia de ahí, un periódico de ahí, ¿no? Pero la verdad es que los boxeadores hoy en día deben o se merece respeto para que la gente pague una pelea de verdad, no una cosa falsa o que porque tiene 1 millón de likes en su video, que que le van a apoyar en el boxeo. Esto es un juego y como tú dijiste, le están faltando respeto a la vida que yo viví. Yo sí viví esa vida y tú sí estás en este negocio y sabes de este negocio y están apoyando como tú como promotor, estás haciendo las peleas de verdad, que son dos boxeadores tratando de buscarse la vuelta, hacer la vida de ellos, y están esta gente de YouTube ganándose $1 millón y por hacer famoso en YouTube, ¿sí o no?
Sí, por los likes, por hacer ridículo. Incluso las empresas apoyan ya ahorita, están apoyando más ese tipo de personas que el verdadero boxeo. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Exacto,
Que, o sea,
eso es lo que dice
es un negocio ya. Es un negocio que ellos lo están viendo y pues el problema es que pues la gente lo apoya. En lugar de apoyar un verdadero boxeador que sí les puede salir campeón, están apoyando este tipo de circo, pues se puede decir que es un circo, porque
Eso es la verdad. Mire, yo y mi esposa estamos hablando de eso el otro día. La pena es que la gente cree en una mentira primero que la verdad. Eso es el mismo sentido de boxeo o los deportes, pero el boxeo más que esa es la carrera mía, esa es la vida mía, eso es lo que yo hago hasta hoy en día. Estoy entrenando boxeadores que le dan todo. Los boxeadores míos manejan la bicicleta, la cicla al gimnasio mío, 7 millas todos los días para el gimnasio, ida y vuelta. Son 14 millas. Y el esfuerzo que hacen ellos, el trabajo que hacen ellos, las ganas que tienen ellos, nadie lo apoya porque no son YouTube stars ni nada de esas cosas. Y lo que pasa un boxeador toda su vida haciendo esto, haciendo lo otro, es un falto de respeto de los boxeadores verdaderos que están sufriendo y llorando y sudando y botando sangre a este espectáculo, este pecado que están haciendo hoy en día con él. Yo no voy a decirle que alguien no gane lo que se tiene que ganar, pero da pena que la gente pagan por algo falso que algo de verdad. Y eso me da un poco, me molesta.
sí,
I'm just gonna let her know. I was just telling him that unfortunately nowadays, the truth of the matter is that people will pay for something false quicker and at any price than there's truth. Me and my wife about this just recently, where people were quick to believe a lie, then they will believe a truth. And I deal with it. Let me tell you something. I deal with it on a daily basis when I see certain things or I hear things, and I conduct business with certain individuals that I'm like, man, this guy's got these people really like hoodwinked, like they're just bamboozled there. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, people don't seek the truth, especially nowadays with the social media and the Wikipedias and the technology with Google. People don't take the time to investigate these credentials these individuals have. This guy's a YouTube star. He was a Disney Channel star, and now last year I read he made like in the last 2 years he's made like $35 million, and people are paying for this, And I mean, we hear real fighters are rubbing two nickels together, make ends meet, and they're putting their lives on the line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we have a lot of former champions, former warriors that never got paid what he just made off even one fight.
Yeah.
Like let's think about that. It just seems out of order to me.
The disrespect he has. Look, I'm not a fan of some of the things that go on with some of the promoters of the mixed martial arts stuff. I have no qualms with any people in boxing. People do what they do. It's a business, right? So my objective in business is trying to get the best out of the deal that I can. And they sitting across that table, they're going to try to get the best out that they can. Right. But the reality of the situation is where this is mocking the industry because he's really these people have been mocking the industry, and maybe they're bringing light to certain things, but the reality of it is that they're laughing it to the bank, because the reality of it is that they've really just conned everybody to buy into this and pay these pay-per-view numbers and pay these streaming services and things of that nature. There's no look. At the end of the day, the truth of the matter is they haven't fought a real boxer. they're in boxing matches and they're fighting guys. Mixed martial arts people, they're the real deal. They train. They're very well versed in the things that they do, right? They're kickboxing, mixed martial arts, wrestling, karate, and all that good stuff. But it's like my old coach used to say, Camacho, you could be a jack of all trades, but a master of none, right? So the reality of the situation is, if you're going to call yourself a boxer, fight a boxer, somebody who boxes, beat a boxer. You know what I mean? You do that. Listen, I'm going to be 49
Yeah.
years old in a few weeks. I'm still in somewhat decent shape, right? I still have all my faculties intact. I'm no one of Floyd Mayweather's caliber, but if you
Right.
could be the guy along my lines, people might, hey, that was a real fight, or not necessarily me. You know, you could fight Antonio Tarvis, or I have a really good friend who I know stays in great shape. You know, Tavares Cloud, beat a guy like that. You know, and then maybe people might respect that and wouldn't have any hard feelings for the fact that you're ripping everybody off. You know, I'm gonna say this in Spanish.
Okay.
La verdad es que estamos hablando yo y el señor Neri y Sikura y Emilio, que la verdad es que lo que está pasando con la gente de YouTube es una cosa inteligente, porque si te van a pagar dinero, ¿por qué no lo va a cobrar y hacerlo, no? Pero la verdad es que es un facto de respeto a la gente que pelean, que boxean, que a dedicar su vida antes y ahora y en el futuro. Porque la verdad es que no están peleando con boxeadores. Están llamando esto una competencia de boxeo, pero no están peleando con boxeadores, están peleando con la gente de MMA. Y la gente de MMA son buenos, sí son buenos. Son buenos en karate, en jiu-jitsu, en lucha, en boxeo, un poco de todo, pero como me dijo mi profesor antes, tú puedes ser un muchacho que sabe un poco de todo, pero no un maestro de nada. Y la verdad es que si está concentrado en boxeo y los otros no están concentrados en boxeo, ¿cómo van a ganar ellos? Es un espectáculo, una bobería que están aprovechando de la gente, y no puedo creer que la gente está pagando por eso. Si ellos ganaron una persona, como decir, un muchacho que yo conozco se llama Tavares Cloud, o Antonio Tarver, que ya tiene 50 y pico años, o hasta mí, yo peleo con ellos y me ganan. ¿Por qué no? O pelear con una persona más joven, la edad de ellos. Pero eso no lo están haciendo. Se están aprovechando de gente que no sabe boxear, uno. Número dos, se están aprovechando de la gente porque le están engañando de decir que es un espectáculo de verdad y no es una cosa falsa. Y por eso uno nunca lo va a respetar a ellos. A que no le importa a ellos, porque lo que están haciendo, comprando casa aquí, comprando casa allá. El año pasado se ganaron como 35 millones de dólares. Hay boxeadores que no han ganado eso en la carrera de ellos entero. Y qué pecado que la gente está pagando por eso. Es una locura.
You know, here's the thing about it. They
Así es.
called, they said that he was about to try to fight a real boxer. They had Tommy Fury lined up. It's rumors out here saying that Tommy Fury was out partying and not taking it seriously. And Tyson and his dad, they didn't want him to get embarrassed in this fight. And they pulled him from the card. Said he had this injury. Now that's what the rumor is. I don't know for sure. But you still didn't fight a real boxer. So we do need
Sakura, let's even look at that aspect of things, right? And I don't know Tommy Fury. I don't know Tyson Fury. I don't know any Fury. The only Fury I know is the one who was in the movies, right? So the reality of the situation is that Tyson Fury is the legit boxer. He's the real deal.
Yes.
A talent like him, some people say that his boxing is not that great. His boxing acumen is incredible because he can figure things out. You know, a guy of his size, his stature, they don't usually move around like he does. They're usually big, clunky guys, right? So he's a legit dude, and you have to respect that.
Yes.
His brother, for that matter, I don't know. You know, and I'm not taking a knock on him because I don't know him. I've watched him a few times. He does well. He's not Tyson Fury. So don't make no mistake about this. The reality of the situation is that he's riding those coattails. You know, I heard a rumor the other day that, and I'm gonna say this in Spanish real quick too.
Okay.
I heard rumor the other day that Jake Paul was going to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, I
Yeah.
have a bone to pick about that. And I'm going to say this in Spanish. And Neri, you could disagree or agree. I'm not going to have any hard feelings, okay? Yo tengo una cosa de decir de lo que están diciendo hoy en estos días, ¿no? Que supuestamente Jake Paul, que peleó hace poco con el muchacho ese de la MMA, supuestamente va a pelear con Julio César Chávez Jr. Y él sí, en boxeador, él se crió, él nació en este negocio. Pero la cosa que tragediamente Jake Paul está haciendo es, a peleando con boxeador, te digo la verdad, ese muchacho nació con un cubierto de oro en su boca. Él no tiene hambre. Vamos a hablar de la verdad. El número uno. Número dos, ese muchacho, la disciplina que tiene él, con todo el respeto a su y a él mismo, la disciplina que tiene él, nunca lo que él ha padecido a las peleas, 15 acima de peso, es de bajarle peso, es de, toma $500,000. Eso no es una persona con hambre. Y después él dice que si él me gana a mí, yo me retiro. Seguramente que me va a retirar. Si me voy a ganar $20 millones, ¿para qué voy a tener que pelear? Dime tú.
Pues sí.
Eso para mí es otra pelea falsa. Vamos a poner uno ahí que tiene hambre. Mira, yo le digo a todo el mundo, yo no me quejo de nada. Yo gané y perdí lo que tenía que ser lo mejor que podía hacer. Si afuera de peso, que esto, que si lo otro, que mi profesor. No, la excusa fue todo mía. Lo bueno y lo malo fue en los hombros míos. Yo no culpo a nadie, menos mi profesor o mi manejador, porque el que se meta ahí, mi profesor hace lo mejor que puede hacer para prepararme. Ahora, si me entra a la cabeza, es otra cuenta, pero él hizo la parte de él, ¿tú me entiendes? Ahora, este muchacho, o como, vamos a decir como yo, oye, yo tengo estómago vacío, ¿por qué no me dejan a mí comer? Este hombre tiene todo. Este hombre vive allá en México, dime tú, digo, en Los Ángeles, y tiene de todo. Le va a dar más dinero para que seguro que sí que se va a retirar. Gana o pierde, va a retirarse. Vamos a pelear con uno que tiene verdadero hambre, que tiene el estómago más vacío, que tiene que pelear para comer. ¿Tú me entiendes? Yo no creo en esa pelea. Que pelear con Julio César Chávez Jr. es un pecado. Eso, yo te digo, el que paga por eso es un estúpido. Es un estúpido.
No, sí, de acuerdo. O sea, es otra pelea de show ya, pues.
Seguro que sí.
Show.
Yo sé que tú lo conoces a ellos y todas esas cosas, pero la verdad es que
Sí.
es un pecado. Dime tú.
Pues es la realidad, pues. Pues ya ahorita muchos lo hacen más que nada no por la pasión, sino que por el dinero, pues. Si le pueden sacar buen dinero, pues, lo van a hacer.
Yo
¿Me
mira,
entiendes?
si te digo, mi profesor me decía, Luis Camacho me decía, óyeme, juventud está gastado en la gente joven. No sabía eso hasta que después me puse viejo. Tú sabes, la cosa que yo hago hoy en día, un muchacho mío me dice, oye, profe, tú eres bien rápido, tú eres muy... Pero ahora yo trabajo con esto y menos con eso allá abajo. ¿Tú me entiendes? Porque trabajo con la experiencia, la inteligencia de madurar hacia la edad mía. Tú sabes, pero la verdad es que me da pena. Yo no quiero ver esa pelea. Miren, muy rápido, vamos a cerrar la tema. Vamos a saludar a una gente aquí, Luis Camacho. Tenemos a Carlos Cantona, tuning in from Miami. It's true, Canelo and Charlo are going to... quiere preguntar a Sakura, yo no sé, if she really thinks that Canelo and Charlo are going to really get it on.
Okay, here's the deal. I've got a little insider information that yes, this is an actual negotiations that's going on. It has not been solidified yet, but that they are in negotiations. Hang up right now, 70-30% split.
Oof.
Ouch. So, but me personally, I'm just happy that they're even trying to bring, Canelo together with someone that is outside of his normal promotional companies that he deal with. So we're starting to see some crossovers going on since Canelo was able to break his contract with Golden Boy. Now we're seeing, and since he's fulfilled his contract with DAZN. Now we're seeing him work independently with Reynosa as his
Manager.
main what do you want to call it? Counselor.
His advisor.
Advisor, yes. And we're seeing some fights that he might have wanted to make previous to this, but was not able to do because of how they have these different promotional cartels where you can't fight that person because they're out of house. So I'm just happy that they're trying to negotiate it. Word's still out, verdict's still out on whether it can be confirmed and made contractually right now.
Ok, la pregunta fue que para Sakura, para nosotros aquí, yo la misma cosa, que Sakura que sí, es la verdad, que Canelo y Charlo pues va a pelear en el futuro, en pronto, están negociando eso, en este momento está 70-30 por ahí, pero piensa que va a pasar en el pasado, ha sido un tema con los promotores que, como decir que Canelo estaba con De La Hoya y este estaba con otro y De La Hoya no quería dejarlo pelear con otro porque no estaba en parte de la emoción y cosas así. Y son cosas que son políticos, ¿no? Porque la verdad es que algunas peleas no se hacen porque están con otra empresa. Hoy en día, como Canelo está en cargo de su propia carrera con su profesor Reynoso, muchas peleas se puede hacer porque él tiene ganas de hacer peleas afuera de la promoción de otra empresa y ella cree que de verdad esa pelea se puede hacer, se va a hacer. Si todo sigue así como están hablando, las cosas van a suceder y vamos a ver esa pelea pronto. I want to give a shout out to my friend Eric Garcia. He's giving a shout out to everybody here. If I can't really see his question too good, unless you can see it. Let's give a shout out to Boxing Playhouse. I don't know if you can see the question, but I can't see it.
What's up, D?
Oh, what's up, D? I didn't see it. So, what's up, Eric? Up in Long Island, baby. How you doing? ¿Cómo está, Eric? I don't know if you want to end it with that note. I'm gonna close this out soon. Sakura?
Yeah, we're gonna definitely close things out. I just want to mention that this Friday, TNK Boxing has a boxer named Harry Cruz that will be showcased on the ESPN Plus app with the fight with Joe Smith as the main event. So we want to give them love and definitely give them shout outs. He'll be on the other sister podcast, which is Boxing Playhouse After Dark series, tomorrow at 8 p.m. So I can't wait to have him on and see what, I want to see what kind of shape he's in, Danny, but I also want to know how's that mental going.
I want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
We talked about an old friend of mine. I knew him very well, Shannon Briggs. Shannon, lo van a poner en la Casa de Fama de Boxeo. Freso Kendo, posiblemente vamos a verlo pelear este año para AMB, peso completo este año. Tiene una demanda que van a ver el viernes si lo reservan eso, a ver lo que se puede hacer. Pero una cosa bien importante para mí, yo me mudé a un sitio que se llama Ocala, Florida, en el año 1990, por ahí, y conocí un muchacho que se llama Juan Tito Ocasio. Y en ese tiempo no había un gimnasio de boxeo, en ese tiempo allá en Ocala. Y yo, un hombre que se llama Rodney, un tipo que se llama Artie Hubner y Tito Ocasio, con un hombre que se llama Earl Fraser, abrimos el primer gimnasio en Ocala, Florida. El año pasado, 2021, me pusieron en la Casa de Fama como boxeador. Eso fue un orgullo que yo no esperaba. Eso fue una sorpresa que era increíble. Lo que hizo el día más especial fue que ese día mi profesor Luis Camacho, yo y lo ponimos nosotros inaugurado en la Casa de Fama de Boxeo. Eso fue un recuerdo que nunca se me va a olvidar. Yo lo quiero, lo adoro y lo aprecio todo lo que ha hecho en mi vida. Yo nunca se lo he dicho antes, pero como digo, uno no piensa en las cosas que que uno hace cuando eres joven hasta que tú llegas a la edad mía, ¿no? Pero hablando de eso, este año, mi amigo Tito Juan Ocasio, cuando empezamos a hacer boxeo en mi casa, en mi yarda, haciendo un ring de palo y una manga de agua y un saco que hicimos ahí atrás, fuimos de la yarda mía y a la casa de fama, porque este año 2022 van a poner Juan Tito Ocasio a la casa de fama de Florida como un profesor que se lo merece, con todos los boxeadores que ha apoyado, que ha ayudado, que ha enseñado allá. Y te digo la verdad, como un hermano, todo sube, todo baja, discutimos, lo abrazamos, lo querimos y todo. Pero un orgullo que dos personas que yo quiero y adoro van a estar en la Casa Fama conmigo y les deseo un gran día. Y da pena que yo no estaba allá este fin de semana, pero el junio 17 y 18 y 19 yo voy a estar en Florida gritando voy a tratar de la voz mía, gritando por ellos, porque ellos fueron gente integral en la carrera mía y le quiero dar un gran abrazo. Te amo, te quiero y cuídate y te veo en junio, ok, si Dios quiere. I'm sorry. I just had to say real quick, this year was a great year, 2021. I was inaugurated into the Boxing Hall of Fame in Florida with my coach, Luis Camacho, who's been an intricate and very influential person in my life. And although I never told him this when I was younger, I really appreciate all the things he's done for your life, from eating habits to training habits to even morals. You know, a lot of the way that I maneuver in my ways of life has been heavily influenced by him, not as a fighter, but as a person, as a human being. But what's even crazier is that, 1989, 90, whenever I moved to Florida at that particular time, and I moved to Ocala, Florida, and there was a boxing gym there. I remember me and Tito Ocasio, Juan Ocasio, we built the gym in the backyard. My backyard had 4 pine trees. Me and Tito rode down the street. We got a couple pine trees we chopped down. We dug some 4 foot holes in the floor. We put corner posts out of pine trees and got some gardening hoses. And we made a boxing ring in my backyard, which we actually have footage on. I have photos of this stuff. And we hung a speed bag. And back in those days, there weren't internet and there wasn't any of this order online stuff. So we had to order the stuff over the telephone. And we built a speed bag. This is the true story. We built a speed bag rack in my backyard with a swivel that we bought from the ordering. And then we got a bag that we bought at Walmart, a heavy bag. And we used to watch old Mike Tyson films and train each other and mimic those things, and here we are, whatever, 30 something years later, whatever it is mathematically. Right. And we'll both be blessed to be in the same Hall of Fame. So we went from the backyard to the Hall of Fame. And I'll never forget the impact that both of those gentlemen had in my life. And I'm honored, privileged, and blown away by the fact that we grew up together, we lived together, we trained together. Tito was a hell of an amateur fighter. I used to see him knock out heavyweights. Things have a way of turning ways, or whatever, and we went our different paths as a pro. But he's an impeccable coach. He's been coaching for as long as I can remember. We used to run in the same gyms, and we used to be partners in gyms and things of that nature. And to see him being inducted in the Hall of Fame in June is going to be almost as nice, not quite as nice, but almost nice as when I was inducted with my coach. And I told him the other day that we're going to be from the backyard to the Hall of Fame. And I want to close with that. I'll keep my mouth shut after this. Thank you, Neri. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much, Ernesto. We appreciate you so much. And I am serious. I want to go to the fights. If it's not the one in February that you're going to have, I'm sure that there'll be another one that we can plan out and I can have a little bit more time to get ready.
March.
We got one every month of the year. We're visiting about, I think, 5 states this year, or 6. We're going to
Oh,
Mazatlan,
nice.
Guadalajara, Monterrey.
Okay. I love Cali. I'm ready to go to Cali too. Let's make something happen. And you know, the thing of it is I'm glad Danny was able to connect us together as well. But you know, when I go, I have to be looking great. So I need a little time.
Neri's the guy. Listen, he puts on shows
Yeah.
every month. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed.
Okay, we all going in. We going, Danny. You and
Hey, I'm
Sam
Hey,
get
be
there.
ready to
ready.
dance after. 'Cause we always try to have live music, so be ready for the after party.
All right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A little party afterwards.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, I'm going to log out. God bless. Neri, I'll see you soon. I'll be in Mexico, I think in March. But I'm going to try to, we're going to try to do something there. I want to thank you for giving me the honor of interviewing you. And big hugs, my brother. God bless.
Likewise, and pues thank you for having me. Y pues we'll be in contact. We'll be in
Yes,
contact
sir.
for sure.
All right,
Shout
Saku.
See you
out
guys
to
soon.
War
See you later.
Boxing.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Ernesto was great. You can find us on Boxing Playhouse at IG, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and also YouTube. So please subscribe and friend us and follow us on those platforms. Wednesday is Latin America night, and Thursday is After Dark. So, Danny, of course, thank you as well for being such an amazing bilingual host. I couldn't have asked for a better person to do this.
Thank you. I try my best.
All
Go
right.
figure. I learned how to speak Spanish just recently, so it's not, I know people are very shocked by that, but
This
I'm
is
winging
making
it.
you really be fluent, though. Just
Yes,
the
ma'am.
act of doing this is going to make you like better than some other people that's been at it for years.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right. So you guys take care. Thank you, Boxing Playhouse players. We're going to check you next time in the same
Bless.
bad place.
Welcome to the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.